Welcome to the course Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa. Historical accounts of military operations show that the greatest reduction of force was not due to combat. Instead, historical accounts show that military operations have suffered its greatest loss of force as a result of disease and non-battle injuries. While medical treatment has improved for the prevention and treatment of most diseases and injuries, it is important to remember that diseases and non-battle injuries will continue to be a serious threat to those involved in and supporting military operations. The course Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa consists of approximately 3 hours of web-based instruction. This course is designed to instruct on guidelines for health readiness as well as techniques for protecting personnel from diseases, environmental hazards, and other health threats for African countries. The guidelines and techniques contained in the course are part of theater entry training requirements and will be implemented by personnel before, during, and after deployments to African countries for U.S. Africa Command operations. Maintaining the health of personnel is vital for the success of any military operation. This course is intended for all Army components, Department of the Army civilians, and contractors traveling into and within the U.S. Africa Command area of responsibility in support of U.S. Army Africa operations. It is critical for the success of all U.S. Army Africa missions that Army personnel and contractors be aware of and implement the guidelines and force health protection measures described in this course. The Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa module consists of this course introduction and 3 knowledge lessons with a practical exercise and a post-course survey. The lesson content may be taken in any order you want. However, taking them in the order shown will greatly enhance understanding of the material. The courseware is self-paced, which means that you control the presentation by selecting navigation icons, by responding to a question, or by performing another keyboard or mouse action when prompted by the on-screen presentation. If you are accessing this course from the Army Learning Management System, it will track and record your progress. The Army Learning Management System will indicate your status in a lesson and will automatically bookmark the most recent screen you have accessed. When you exit and then re-enter the course, you will be able to return to the last screen you visited or start from the main menu. The medical readiness lesson will provide instructions on the medical requirements for deployment. This includes the importance of remaining current on all immunizations as well as taking prescribed medications. Information is also provided in this lesson for the proper treatment and wear of clothing and uniforms as well as proper treatment and use of bed nets. The lesson Malaria Threat in Africa will provide essential information for safeguarding oneself against the disease. Content includes an overview of malaria and instructions on how to prevent contracting malaria through the use of medications and personal protective equipment. This lesson will provide more information on health and medical threats that deployed personnel will need to be aware of while in Africa. Background information and instructions for preventing these health and medical threats will be provided as well. This is to include threats related to food and water consumption, environmental threats, as well as additional diseases of concern such as plague and yellow fever. The practical exercise presented in this module is a scenario-based cumulative exam that will measure your application of skills and knowledge for all 3 lessons. You must receive a score of 80% or higher on the exam or practical exercise to receive a Go. The test can be retaken twice before you will be required to repeat the training. After completing the practical exercise, you will receive an after-action review or AAR. In order to pass the practical exercise, you must receive a minimum score of meets standards in all categories. If you receive a score in the below standards column, your score is below performance standards. Then you will be given an opportunity to review the content and retake the practical exercise. If you are unable to obtain a criterion from one of the categories, you will be scored as below standards. The main approval authority for the Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa course is the U.S. Army Africa G37 Training Department in Europe. This department serves as the administrative repository for the courseware and related documents for this course. In accordance with the Army Learning Management System's test control measures, you have a responsibility to refrain from receiving or providing to another student unauthorized assistance, training materials, or testing materials. Failure to comply with the prescribed test control policy and procedures may include unfavorable administrative action, including exclusion from other distance learning courses and resident training. It may also include Uniformed Code of Military Justice, or UCMJ action. The minimum and acceptable personal computer hardware is shown here. Newer systems usually exceed these standards. You will be able to use this courseware effectively if your computer meets the minimum hardware requirements. This courseware is unclassified. In addition, all of the supporting and reference materials associated with the course are also unclassified. The foreign disclosure category is FD6. This courseware is releasable to students from foreign countries on a case-by-case basis. There are no actual or potential conditions associated with the Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa course that can cause injury, illness, or death to the learner. Damage or loss of equipment or property or mission degradation is not associated with this courseware. Furthermore, the risk assessment level assigned to this courseware is low, since the possibility of an occurrence of a hazard is unlikely. This completes the introduction for Force Health Protection and Medical Threat Awareness for Africa. When you have completed all 3 lessons, you will be asked to take a brief post-course survey. This survey will give you an opportunity to evaluate the course material, and it will give us your opinion of how it can be improved. Click the Exit button to be taken to the course menu. Good luck and enjoy the course.